Yeah, da, no. We get to the big da. As you said, Yosef Dona sings this beautiful words. We had to get to this Torah at some point. It's inevitable. I think it's right now is the time, because I'll tell you a bunch of reasons why I think it's the time. One of them is because Shmos, this Tekuf is Shovavim. There's two big avodas that Tzaddikim focus on during Shovavim, and we've already mentioned one of them. What was the first things we have to work on? The Peh, Dibor. Dibor is the big Dalet of Shema. What's the ayin, the big ayin in Shema, that you're just touching right now? The Anayim. Yeah?
The ayin in Shema?
Ayin, yeah, the Anayim. We have to fix our speech and our eyes.
Oh, eyes.
Two big, the main big avodas of Shovavim. So, and it's, as you see, the big Dalet, the big ayin, is straight away. he's reminding us it's about how we speak, how we look at the things, our mindset, our perception, and how we speak about things, how the narrative we give everything. Obviously, there's levels, Shmer Soloshan, Nakia Seper, Taras Adibor, all these madrigas and halachas that we have to work with our mouth and what we're allowed to look at, with the eyes. But the most important thing here, Rabbi Nachman is going to give us the key tool for the Tafshin Pei Daled, is about Melamed Zchus, not just on others, but ourselves as well. Because otherwise, we're always going to be like, well, wait a minute, I'm not really living up to all these levels, yeah? I just was singing a song in private, and it was videoed, and I was saying the N-word, yeah?
Yeah?
No, I'm joking. I'm just saying, an example, there's a movie clip like that, I don't know.
That's for sure something, yeah.
Something like that happened, I don't know. And they got in a lot of trouble because they were saying the N-word, the naughty word, or the F word, or the other words, yeah?
Right.
So we've all got that in our generation when unfortunately we're exposed so much to such bad language, right? That we're used to sort of saying certain things. I don't know if in your work situation people speak not so nicely.
Deal with Chinese.
And the fact that the Trump made it normal, I don't know if it's his fault, but they like to blame him, right? As a president, to use the F word in the middle of a speech and stuff like that. Yeah. We're in a different.
Definitely brought the quality. Yeah. Of the presidency of New York, of America down.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's with the people, because that's where the people are at, and that's unfortunately what we have to deal with on a.
You gotta roll up your sleeves.
Yeah, it's hard work to get our speech.
Make America great again.
To make our speech holy again, and to also make our eyes be focused. Back in the day, if you turn on a movie, you probably over on Lo Sasvach Elavavchem, but not in a major way. Now it's who knows what you're getting. You're getting not just bad for your eyes, bad for your heart, bad for your soul. Yeah. All the woke sort of nonsense that comes through this stuff. So we have to really, in our generation, be Melamed Zchus, and we have to be Mechazik. And this Torah, we can learn it quick, but I think it's something that needs a lot of work because it's hard to really, and it's also a Madrega. Now, near the end of the Torah, just a heads up, I don't know if we're going to learn it because it gets really high. When it starts talking about the aspect of Moshe Rabbeinu, because Moshe Rabbeinu is on another level completely, and it starts talking about the Tzaddik. But the whole real key, as you'll see from Rabbi Nachman, it's really important to know, is one, he's revealing high Torahs, and two, it's always with that in mind that there is a Tzaddik. There is someone who's in every door, or specifically Mamin and Moshe Rabbeinu, all the way through to Rabbi Nachman, Ben Feigen, Nachman Simcha. There's a Masorah Tzaddikim, just like with Chabad, it goes all the way through the Chabad Rebbes, and just it depends which Hasidus you are, which Masorah you're in, but there is a Masorah, a tradition that goes all the way through, and the point is you're tapping into those Tzaddikim specifically, and they're the ones who are giving you the koach to get to that.
There is a lineage to Reb Nachman?
Yeah, sure. And for Moshe specifically? No,
from Reb Nachman to us.
Oh, there are Talmidim, yeah. There definitely is a Masorah Talmidim. And there are people who...
Other than Reb Nassan.
There are people, yeah, but
Never
Reb
heard
Nassan,
who was his Talmidim.
He had Talmidim, and people who are really into Besov have those Svarim, and learn those Svarim. And
Reb Nachman had two daughters, right?
He had, I don't remember exactly, but the Nekuda was that he had Talmidei Talmidim, and that was a big thing in Brestov, that there would always be a Masorah. So say you go to YISRAEL Dessa, he's one of the top of the Talmidim, yeah? So not everyone holds of him because of the Nanach whole story. But if you went to him, anyway, he's like a direct Talmud all the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it's more complicated. So
Right, like someone like a BORUCH.
Yeah, and then there's all different ones,
But there's a yeshiva in MASHA, Nekuda Tova.
Yeah, there's a yeshiva Nekuda Tova, which we're going to learn about this concept Nekuda Tova.
Nekuda Tova.
In London, there's like a sort of version of it. Like around the world, there's this concept of Nekuda Tova became very needed.
Rav Mata Frank.
Yeah. He's also connected to those kind of chevra. Like, I'm going to be going in London. There's a guy there. He's a Breslover who's very close with Mata Frank. And every time when I went to Uman, I used to go eat by the English crew. And Mata Frank would come and speak there and chazik them. So
Mata Frank.
Yeah.
My father-in-law has an apartment in Uman.
Yeah.
Right on top of Mata Frank.
Oh wow.
Same building.
Yeah, I used to see him around everywhere. I haven't seen him around so much recently. I don't know. He used to travel a lot.
I bumped into him in Tzfat recently. Yeah.
How's he doing? He looks alright.
He's like just, I was smiling.
So happy, yeah. He's a big Ovid Hashem as well, from
Yeah.
what I remember, in Torah and stuff. That's another big thing. You have to remember, when we're learning Rabbi Nachman, and we saw that Torah is a big part of what, of the Avodah. Learning, B'kiyas, accomplishing in Torah. So, that we have to remind ourselves, this is not just like some high sort of spiritual journey. This is also someone who is a huge Talmid Chacham in the biggest way and knew all of Torah. So we're entering into someone who's able to bring everything together in a deep way. Reish Pei Beis, famous Torah. Da, ki sarach ledon etz kol adam l'cha zchut. Yeah. V'filim mishu rasha gomo. So that's good news. Even if he's a rasha gomo, completely evil person, we melamed zchus. We have to seek out and find in him a little bit of good. There's good news, good times. Because there's going to be a little bit that's not a Russia. Even though it sounds like a contradiction. It's called him as Russia Gomer. Yeah? Somehow we're going to find a little bit that isn't Russia. Yeah? Russia Gomer means complete. Yeah? So how is it that there's going to be a little bit ain't a Russia? V'dan oisay lechasrut, says Rabbi Nachman. There's going to be a little bit of good, and we're going to, with that little bit of good, dan him lechasrut. So, I mean, one of the obvious examples is he could even do mitzvahs by accident. Yeah,
right.
Like at the end of the day, a human's a human, and I'm sure he's helped a granny over the road, or there's going to be situations whether they intend it or not, where they have a little bit of good.
Right, or it's like he does an avera with such kavana, where you can say, this guy believes in Hashem so much that when he does this Aveira, he does it with such kavana, like out of such an act of rebellion. His belief in Hashem must be so great.
I heard that from Rav Wallerstein, that concept, also from Rav Steinzelt, that when it comes to someone who's so angry with Hashem, that anger with Hashem means he's mamin in Hashem. Exactly. It might be not the highest level because he's coming out in anger, but it shows he has a relationship with Hashem.
And that also shows like how
he's more in broigas with Hashem,
Right, and that's how it shows.
It's mamin. You're just upset.
You flip the coin, we learn in the Gemara.
Maybe he's got reason to be upset. We did go through a Holocaust and communist Russia and everything else that's gone on in history. There are reasons.
Interest rates are up.
Yeah, that's a bit of a lame reason, but compared to the other ones.
But sometimes my son will tell me like, Dad, I'm just so angry with Hashem, he says to me. And then I say to him like, it's amazing.
That means you have a relationship.
I was like, Hashem can handle your anger.
Yeah, he can. And it means you have a relationship.
Right.
Wallerstein was able to do that. That was one of his strengths. He would go to like speeches and it'd be like girls sitting there with like every kind of nose ring and earring and, all kinds of colored hair and really angry. And he had a way of...
Pink, the Chaver loves
pink. or guys with all that kind of stuff. And he had a way of channeling their anger towards Hashem and accepting it and working with it, to the point where they were able to find their way back to Hashem. And then he had it on his talis bag, all the nose ring and earrings, all the people that he paid. He used his own money because he was a wealthy business dude.
Yeah.
He used to pay them like $500, $1,000. You give me this, you give me that, cut your hair, this, that, and they would do it. And he'd keep as a memento. He'd ask them to give it to him. And he'd keep as a memento, had it all lined along his talis, all the nose rings, earrings. He pinned it through his talis bag. Not the talis itself, the talis bag. And that was part of his chizuk, go to davening. That was a schus for him. He had all that.
I remember.
It's an amazing story, yeah. Anyway, And through the, by the way, today's the Balatanya's Yahrtzeit, just so you should know.
Ooh.
It's also Reb Dessler's Yahrtzeit, Reb Eliyahu Eliezer Dessler, the Miktam Eliyahu. It's also the Shemesh Shmuel's Yahrtzeit. And I mentioned all these Tzaddikim in the Shemayim last night by accident. So,
really?
Yeah, I was learning with someone else, and I suddenly just now remembered that all those Tzaddikim I mentioned last night,
Where's
I didn't
the
even have in mind the Yahrtzeit.
Buried. Yeah.
Balatanya's in a place called, and I've been there, it's amazing. I went with Y.Y. Jacobson. We went on a trip a bunch of years ago. It was one of the best trips I ever went on in my life. We went all around the Tzaddikim. We went to B'ditcheva, we went to Hashem, we went to the mikveh, the Hashem, and then we went and made it our way to Haidich. Haidich is quite far into Russia, to Ukraine, towards Russia, and it's high north, I think, in Ukraine, from what I remember.
Right.
It takes a long time to get there from those other
the
places.
The roads are so bumpy there.
And they made it into a newer hotel there. It's quite nice. I don't know what it's like now with the war and everything. When I went there, it was really nice. And with YY was on fire there. Like, he literally spent the whole time, when he wasn't giving over Torah, he was he didn't sleep. He was in the what do you call it? The house of the where the Tzadik's buried. I couldn't go in, but I would stand outside the oil. But he was inside there the whole time.
They made the Ohel into like a hotel?
Yeah. Not the oil itself, like around it. Yeah. Wow. Beautiful building.
Just for the
Haidich, become a proper place, yeah.
There's like a yeshiva
proper
there?
Proper dorms, proper base midrash.
There's a base midrash there? Like,
yeah,
people live there?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there the rest of the year, but when I was there, it was packed.
Wow.
And there was loads of groups. That we mentioned him once. The rabbi from Tzfat was there. Ravshi, what's his name?
Oh, Rav Avshi.
Avshi was there, and his father was there.
How did we get to Rav Avshi?
We mentioned him sometime. So Rav Avshi was there. He blows the shofar in Uman, and we used to hear him every year.
Oh, yeah?
But anyway, Rav Avshi was there, and his father was Zal. His father was alive then, and they were on a trip.
His father's still alive?
No, his father passed away. And it's Rav Shalom.
Are any of the other Chabad Rabbanim there as well? Let's say, like, so from the Balatanya, then there was before him was the Maggid of Mezrich.
Yeah.
Where do we know where all?
Maggid of Mezrich is not buried there. No. Oh. They're all different places.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, Haidich is a different place. Each Chabad Rebbe is buried somewhere else, from what I remember.
But they still have
the Rashab. I wanted to go to see the Rashab, I think it is. I don't remember. I get confused some of the names, but his Yahrtzeit is based in Nissen. I spoke to the Mashpia there one time, and then the war broke out. I think that's what, or Corona. I think it was Corona. I actually was in touch with YY because he was going to go there, and he told me to meet him there.
Definitely no talk today.
I was arranging it, and I'll probably hear they will say. But I was arranging it, and then suddenly Corona or the war started. And now when I email Rav YY, I get this automated response, so you can't process the emails, so I don't get any direct contact from him anymore. Right. But I just heard from him himself the next week's going to be in London. So I'm going to probably try go to where he is at one point.
YY.
Yeah, I'll go see him and say hello. Because I say to him, I can't talk to you anymore by email. You don't answer.
Do you know his brother?
Simon Jacobson? Yeah, very special.
I'm very close to him.
Oh, amazing. He's special. I have his WhatsApp.
We did a few shows together. This was actually during Corona.
Oh, wow. We did a show together once. Before BORUCH.
2 years ago. So this is 2020. I'll just show you. Quickly.
Yeah. So we're Melamed Schus. All the good Nekudas. Here we go, Simon Jacobson. Let's see if I have any pictures of me and him. We did the online thing. No, I didn't send him any.
Okay.
But it was good. It was good doing a class of him all that time back. It was successful.
November 3rd plus this.
Wow.
Oh man, do I not have a single picture?
Yes, yeah, he's a special person. We did a whole Zoom thing.
So he was my 3-year-old son. He was his sandik at the bris.
Nice.
Of Shimon Jacobson.
I must have sent it to one of his students or something because he didn't get it. Jacobson. Let's see.
No, this is his number. He just doesn't always answer it.
No, I'm just saying the actual class we did. It was a good class, good session, like quite popular. Him and Rav BORUCH.
So he was my son's tzaddik. It was like during Corona, we called him up because we were very close to him, and he was very involved in mine and Leia's lives at one point. And we called him up and we asked him to come.
Yeah.
And he came.
This was a class we did, Facebook Watch. He's got a lot of views on these classes.
It was him?
18,000 views, not bad.
Oh, with Rabbi Arush?
Yeah, I organised that. I used to bring all these different famous people. Proper class we used to do. Nice.
Our souls are misplaced, are
I
dislocated.
organised really good classes.
And we have to figure out and recognize
They
that
have
we're
good
not in it
quality
alone.
of this.
What is that? What did you just do?
I was in a studio in Yerushaylim.
Oh, you did the thumbs up?
Yeah, just likes a little bit.
So he spoke Hebrew. He spoke English.
Yeah.
And remember,
I'm in the
you
class,
guys can
there's
always
Bubman.
partner all our wonderful viewers and
I'd run
followers
it.
with a
I
whole
was like the
year
MC.
round of Amuna
Organised
Alive, Amuna Live.
I was the head of the program for
It's alive,
5
but
years.
it's AmunaLive.com.
Beautiful.
Shavua Tov. And the video,
Yeah. And I used to sit next to Rav BORUCH all the time.
And Rabbi Arush was...
by the way, is showing there as
We'd
well,
learn
so you can go
together.
there, no
Right.
problem. Shavua Tov,
We used to get
thank
together
you for
every
all the
week,
light,
like
Wow.
laughter, and
It's smart.
inspiration that you give
Love
us
it. It's
to
like a
bring
TV
into
set.
this world.
Yeah.
I love
Another
the
feedback.
background.
Thank you, everyone.
It's like Manhattan. One time, Rav Weinberger came on. He was he said, "Why am I surrounded by Manhattan? I'm trying to get away from here."
Right.
I said, "I want to be in Yerushalayim, not in Manhattan." He had a whole diss about it.
Right.
It was typical of Weinberger
Yeah,
response.
he's the best.
Dark, you have to done everyone lechafschut. I did mala oisa be'emes lechafschut. And we have to consider it like, but in truth, lechafschut. Yeah, the mala oisa. We have to not just that. We have to elevate this person to the world of lechafschut. Do you know there's an actual heichel called heichel schafschut? It's just like you have a heichel negina. You have a higher realm. Not that I'm holding on that level to be flying around the higher realms, but I've heard about it from Tzaddikim. You have these higher realms. And one of the heichels is a heichel Nagina, heichel Mashiach. There's all these heicholos, like places for these giluim of song and the soul of Mashiach, etc. So one of the heicholim is heichel Chafschut. It's actual place in Shemayim. And the idea is there's whole svarim on it. Rav Simai Zurberg put out a whole sefer called Sefer L'Chafschut. The whole sefer is just basically teaching you how to melamed schus. It's like a lamdus. You have to train your mind to think in L'Chafschut. Yeah, he put out a sefer on it.
I heard him one time talk when I was with Weinberger here in Israel.
Yeah.
So he took us to Meir to talk, and I didn't connect to him because his speech, he speaks English.
Yeah, he does.
His speech was all about the iPhone.
Oh, that's more recent then. How long ago was that?
This was like maybe between a year ago.
Yeah, there you go. He's been influenced very much by more Kanoish Chavra. But when I was by him then, he didn't mention any of that stuff.
Yeah, I appreciated the sentiment, but I was like, buddy,
it's not where we're holding.
This is like you're talking to the
American.
Like we are Americans.
I know.
Like,
look, that's one of the reasons why I stopped being by him. Not because when I was at the end of that story, it wasn't healthy for my lifestyle because he's so high and his so Ovid Hashem, but also they started to move into his group a more Kanoisha element. And either it was from him or it's from the people around him.
Shouldn't do business with someone who has an iPhone.
Yeah, no, it's too high. Yeah, I get it. Wow. I get it. But nevertheless, like when he says these kind of strong things, it's all about. I asked him once. He said it's all about you taking it. What I'm saying for the community, you have to. If you ask him personally, it's a different conversation. He's just trying to sometimes give musa to the olam. Do you understand?
Right, he's
just be a bit more
aware, and then you take what you can.
Yeah, where you can, and that's how I had. But it got too much for me to do that all the time. To constantly sift everything he's saying publicly to try and make it according to my level. Why don't I just have a Rebbe who doesn't speak that way? So I got more connected to Tom the Rebbe. That was the shift. When I told him, he said, yeah, that's a good... he was like happy for me. He was like, yeah, you can go speak to him now. And then he sort of shifted in. I no longer was his door open. It was strange how that happened. It was like very spiritual. Rav Shlomo mentioned it in the shir. He asked in front of everyone, he said, Eli, can you tell us a little bit, you've been around all these tzaddikim. So it was like, there was no negia. Like he didn't care anymore that I wasn't coming to him anymore. Not because he didn't like me, but just because he's not about himself. He's about really what Ratzon Hashem is. So it was nothing personal. Do you understand? Like people get personal. Why doesn't Eddie want to learn with me anymore in the morning? You do want to learn Baruch Hashem, but just say you said that one day, yeah? And I would probably take it personally because I'm a normal human being.
Right.
But Rav Simai did not take nothing personally. I used to come to him and say, "Oh, the davening's too long. Oh, it's not good for my Shalom bias." He said, "But Simcha Rabbi," he said, "I'd be happy just to have a minyan. I don't need anyone to come to me. You go down next door in Kalev. Go down there. You have to come to my shul." Said he said, "I really don't want any chassidim. I just want to have a minyan so I can L'chaim Ratzon Hashem." That was his shita.
Wow.
It's like, no, he doesn't need a following either at all. So anyway, but the idea we have to mimala the person l'chavschut. So that's the madrega of this place of l'chavschut, this way of thinking l'chavschut, everything towards merit. V'yochel hashiva b'tshuva, and you're able to help him return to tshuva. Can you believe that? Just by bringing him into that place of l'chavschut in your mind and the way you think about him and talk about him, you bring him to a place of tshuva.
Mala oso be'emes.
Yeah.
It's
you're right. In truth, you're right. It's emes, because that's the truth. It's not like you make. This is another important thing. It's good you remember that, because Rav Simai says very important. You realize when you malamet schus, it's not just some shtick. It's not like you pretending he's good. Yeah.
Right.
But emes is he's l'chavschut. You see his good points.
Right.
But emes, like true. If you would stand in front of a court, you could point out those good points to give him, to be his defender. His like Brother Bedicheva was. He would seek out the good of Klal Yisrael. Yeah. What's the name of it? When someone's San Diego, we say in Hebrew, like someone who's not the prosecutor, a defender. Like what's the word? DOG. The defender. Someone who's defending. There's a better word for it. Anyway, but in Hebrew, San Diego, someone who's always seeking out the good of the people. Yeah. In how he views them and talks about them, no matter what. And Bedicheva was on the highest level of that as well.
Yeah.
And then you can help him do tshuva by focusing in on that element of that person. Also, yeah. Zeh bechinas. This says in Tehillim Amid Zayin. Od ma'at ein Rasha bonus on makom veinona. In a little bit of time, ein Rasha. There's no Rasha. Think on his place, and he's not there anymore. So you see that in this pasuk in Tehillim, Psalm Amid Zayin, famous Tehillim. There's lots of famous pasukim in that one. Yeah. Think, and it's funny because remember we said the power of Tehillim is the ability to help us open up the Sharim of Tshuva. So we're seeing a pasuk that helps us understand the whole meaning of limit schus to help people do Tshuva, literally. Yeah, this one pasuk. Od ma'at, a little bit ein Rasha. And there's no wicked person. It's bonadata. Think on him, on his place, and he's not there. So what does that mean? He used to be in a place of Rasha. You think deep into that person and see the good, he's no longer there. He's no longer Rasha. That's the concept. But it's all about the od ma'at. That's the real diak of this Torah. Od ma'at means a little bit of time, but it also means a little bit of good. That's the diak, The whole Nekuda of limit schus is that od ma'at, a little bit of good. It also connects to patience. It's a very deep concept of that. And this pasuk is to warn us to judge everyone towards l'chavschut. And even though you see he's a Rasha Gomer, you could probably think about a few politicians nowadays. I'm not saying like the PM, but people around that world who you could think maybe they're Rasha Gomer. They don't really like Judaism too much. But even them, there's a Nekuda Tova. Even though you have to, a person needs to seek out and request. It's like a real mavakish is a very strong language. Someone's mavakish the emes, he's seeking out the emes with his whole life. He's coming to learn, he's coming to daven, he's coming to talk to tzaddikim. He's a mavakish. So someone is seeking out the truth. The motzah ma'at tov, you have to use that meter to find that little bit of good. Shasham ain't a Rasha, that is not a Rasha. That over there's a part that's not a Rasha. V'zel od ma'at ain't Rasha. In a little bit of time, he's not a Rasha. Or that little bit of good, he's not a Rasha. You could say it time, or you could say it in that Nekuda Tova, he's not a Rasha. I mean, think about it. You must have some people you've had a hard time in life,
Yeah, definitely.
Now, can you see that good inside those people? I mean, I remember one Rosh Kollel. It's sad to say it. He was the head of a Kollel. He had some financial backing, and he was quite a powerful person, posek and everything. And he was pretty not good to a bunch of people, including myself. And it made a big effect on our life and all the people around us, and including my Shalom bias. It was very challenging. Even his hashkafa was a bit intense, not healthy for me. And I had to be mocha him. And I decided, in order to work on this whole concept, I went Purim and brought him shlach manos all the way to his house, to his door, and gave it to him. And when we weren't working together anymore. And it took him 5 years, I think, to come up to me and say, I'm really sorry what I did back then. Yeah, 5 years. I saw him later. And then he asked me if I'd help him fundraise.
Huh.
And I was like, no, that's too far. Like, I'm a lamed schus, but it doesn't mean I'm going to become your supporter. Yeah?
Right.
But anyway, but that's the idea. I don't know if he was a Russia, but on this Nekuda, I had to focus in on there was still a lot of good to him. Like, he was a Talmid Chacham v'chuli.
It's interesting. I think it's harder to be melamed chus for like a so-called Talmid Chacham than it is for a Russia. Like you see a guy, not Shomer Shabbos, even tattoo, doing Kol Davar Asar. It's so much easier to be melamed chus that guy than like the Rav of the shul, who is like
seemingly meant to be like
tzaddik, but like he says things that are offensive, and he acts in certain.
I tell you, one of the
ways
things he told me, he brought my wife was constantly going to the hospital during pregnancy, the beginning parts. She had to keep going, and she had to go on this drip thing. She kept getting dehydrated, and had to constantly check on the baby. And I was an avrech in this kollel as well as a manal running things, and I don't want to get too many pratim because you might figure out who it is. But I was very busy in that place, and I was giving up a lot of my life. And once in a while, I'd be like a few minutes late or whatever to the shir that he used to give, because I was in the top shir there. And he used to give like shir in Gemara, and he would get angry at me, or if I was late for my kavutza, and he would tell me like hashkafically, like he wasn't even at any of his labors, and that was the Masorah he got from his rebbeim, and like the kind of thing where you just like let your wife get on with it.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like about tshuva. I don't have aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers all waiting to go help my wife. Yeah.
Right.
If I'm not there, no one's there. Yeah.
Right.
So it's terrible advice for about tshuva with a wife.
Right.
Coming from the supposed Rav. Right. And it would have ruined my Shalom bias if I'd carried on listening to him. So I had to stop listening to the guy. He was a mazik to my happiness at home. Forget about what he tried to do later on, to my actual position in the yeshiva.
Experiences similar to that.
Yeah, and you have to learn to not listen to those kind of voices. They're from the YITZCHAK. They're from YITZCHAK.
They're from YITZCHAK,
yeah. You have to be strong. That's the point. You have to you have to be moda ala MS, and then after the fact, you have to now say there's still good in this person. This is his Masorah. It's just not for me. Okay. So you need to look out and see the good sheish ba'adayin. Some people, things I went through would have gone off the derech. Honestly, my wife always says that the amount of things people have done over the years, who are supposedly from, and done to you in your journey, or the menalim and this and that. A lot of people go off the derech from what you've gone through. But the derech's much bigger than people think. And in the end, I'm doing this for Hashem, not to build a fan club in the frum world. I don't really care about that.
I'm doing it for the fan club.
Really?
For the points.
No, I don't think you are. You wouldn't be living in a frat. The frat's not the place.
It's not the fan club place.
No. Sheisham ain't a Russia. Ki afal pishu Russia. Even though he's a Russia, he's acting like one. Yeah. How is it possible that there is any good still going on over there? Yeah, this guy is like shechting people left, right, and center. Yeah, he's a powerful guy, and he's getting rid of everyone that doesn't do what he wants, and he's treating his wife like crap. Yeah, excuse my language, and he's doing all this stuff. Even his language is not so great. He used the word crap again. Yeah, so all this kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah, how is it possible that he did not do some sort of mitzvah, something good? So that's where it's easy with the Talmid Chacham, who's not behaving himself. He's for sure doing mitzvahs. He's a Talmid Chacham, he's a masmid, he learns Torah all the time, he davens, he shakes a lot of an esrog, yeah? He does mitzvahs, so that's no problem with that guy. The problem is now back to your guy with the tattoos and everything, yeah?
Yeah.
So that guy probably isn't doing so much mitzvahs, but even that guy is doing mitzvahs. Why?
Right.
because he, like I said, he'll help his grandma with her groceries, or even an old lady. He'll, give a bit of tzedakah. There's no guy who doesn't have a moment of just doing a mitzvah.
Says good morning to his drug dealer.
Yeah, whatever it is. Like, every year there's Male Mitzvahs Karima. That's what it says in the Gemara. It doesn't matter. Even the Reikanim, even the empty ones. It's a Ferish Chazal. The empty Jews are filled with mitzvahs like a Rimon. That's just part of it. It doesn't matter. Even if they're not such Talmid Chachamim or anything, not even connected to Judaism, they're still filled with. I've seen it with my own family. Like, I got a message the other day from someone. He might bring me to come speak in his program after 11 o'clock. He works with all the at-risk teenagers in a more frum part of town of London. And he wants me to come in. He's going to pay me to come in around 11 o'clock, come for an hour and a half in the middle of the night. Like I used to do that kind of avoda. And this guy, before he asked me to do that, he reconnected to me on this group. He was like, by the way, you should know your father's a tzaddik. I'm like, really? He says, yeah, your father's always giving tzedakah towards what we do. You know that? I said, I have no idea. I didn't know he was doing that. You never know what. Right. How did my father? I introduced him to him like 10 years ago or something, maybe longer. I think maybe about 15 years ago to this guy. And in the meanwhile, he's always given that guy a bit of tzedakah. Right. And the guy appreciates it.
Is your dad about Shirat too now?
No, maybe in the hidden sense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk to him about certain things like this kind of like what's going on in Israel, he's clear. Like his mind is clear. Right. And he's on the right wavelength. Like,
that's
which is a big thing. Being in England,
Shlomo, we learn it. It's like
being in England and hearing all the other side of stuff. Like, it's not easy to keep a clear mind about all this
England's
stuff.
Got a lot of Arabs too.
Yeah, unfortunately,
it's going to become a Muslim country soon.
I was friends with a lot, and
the Arabs.
Yeah, I went to university with them. I used to pray with them. I was very close to a lot of. I lived with an Arab. I mean, he wasn't an Arab. He was an English Muslim. Yeah. But, he would associate himself with Islam. And, we got on very well. And only when I went to Israel, we stopped really having so much to do with each other, which is a bit of a shame, but in one sense. But in another sense, it got a bit crazy because some of those boys tried to come to Jerusalem and bring me to their mosque in Jerusalem. And that would have been Labor Day. Bring them about tshuva to their mosque. Right. I don't know how that would have gone down. I was all about unity, but maybe it's a bit naive. Who knows? Anyway,
pretty extremist religion.
Yeah, some of the stuff that was going on there, even in the 90s, was very hate focused. Unfortunately, not specifically about Jews, it was more about
Christians.
They had this whole thing. They had a lot of conspiracy theory stuff going on back then. They were talking about the what's the group that. There's a whole story there on the dollar note. The Templars, not the Templars. Masons.
The Masons.
They had a whole thing. Yeah, they're like Madonna and MASHA. All these people were like part of the Masons.
Yeah, the Freemasons.
And like they're all evil and they're trying to ruin the world. That whole them thing. They're doing this, they're doing that.
Yeah.
So eventually, who they decide who's going to be there right now. Maybe it's the Jews in Israel.
Right.
We're the ones, the enemy now.
Yeah. People don't realize they wiped out all the Christians in the Middle East almost.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's there used to be Beit Lechem was all Christians.
Yeah. Lebanon was a beautiful.
Was all Christians.
Beautiful city.
Wherever else there was.
Yeah, so you're right. And then they get away with it. It's crazy.
No one cares. And now instead of that, they just said that that Yashka Pandrik was Palestinian.
Yeah.
Made up.
Nonsense. There's no Palestine. Sarach Ata Vakishba, it was just a name. Sarach Ata Vakishba Odma Tov Sheish Ba'adain. Shesham Eina Russia. Ki afal pishu Russia eich efshe she'ein ba ma tovadain. Ki eich efshe shelo asa etz mitzvah or davatom mayamav. It's worth repeating these words again and again. There must be that he did a mitzvah at some point. Yeah. V'al yidei zeh shata moitze ba od ma'at tov. So now the point is, it's not enough just to say be'erech. This is the point with Tzaddikim. It's not enough just to say like, oh, he must have done a mitzvah like I said it. Right. You have to actually find that mitzvah and focus in on it.
Wow.
That's the next point. It's a very intense, focused, truth-seeking mission to find that he's done a mitzvah. Not that he maybe did. No, you have to find it. But MS, in truth, you have to be able to be his Santiago, his protector. There's a word for it, it keeps slipping my mind. You have to be his defense attorney. You have to be the guy who finds the evidence, finds the truth that this guy is good.
And Katega Nasasanega.
Yeah, Kantega. Nasasanega. Very good. Yeah, there we go. Sanega. You have to be the guy who finds the good. That's your job. You're like you're into law. You have to go find that evidence. Defense attorney. You're on his side. And you have to find it, and you have to say that he's done that mitzvah, and say that from that I'm going to bring out the good,
Best Jewish
and that will
defense
bring him to
attorney.
tshuva. Yeah.
One of the best Jewish defensive attorneys in America is a from Jew, Benjamin Brafman.
Yeah, he's cool guy. You know
He's
him?
my principal's brother.
Oh, really? You went to his school? He always talks about his brother.
Yeah.
He's helped his brother fund that place.
Yeah. His brother used to tell me that I was going to end up in jail.
That's for sure.
He was like,
Really?
he's like, I talked to my brother, and he used to tell me what type of clients he has. He's like, and you fit the mold. And then
That's not really
he would say
building
that
a belief system.
in a very loving way. He said that, like as if I was too wild. And then I would respond to him. I'd be like, Rebbe, when I get older,
Puff Daddy's defense attorney.
Yeah. And so I said to him, I was like, Rebbe, if when I get older, I can afford your brother as an attorney, I'll take it. And he used to laugh.
I don't know. I don't see you that way. I don't know. Maybe you changed, or maybe you never were like that, and you just didn't see it.
I was
Every
lunatic.
kid's a bit wild, you know. So what?
Yeah.
Grow out of it. My son, like the way he's talking in the army, he's like a whole different level of maturity. He wants to, be focused. He doesn't want to just party. He doesn't want to go, when he comes out of the army, he doesn't want to just go travel and go nuts. He wants to do a very focused trip afterwards, and then get a job and build a career and get married and focus. He's very focused. He doesn't, you grow out. You grow up. ששם אין רשע, ואתה דנך זה לחסכות. על זה אתה מעלה עשה באמס מחף חוי ולחף. See this? This is Rabbi Nachman saying, you're now, through this whole process, you're elevating him in truth from the chaf of chova. The chaf is like, you have a weight system. What's it called? You have on the right side, you have, you're doing he's weighing up his chova to his chusim, his things he was over, the averes or the obligations that he didn't keep, to make him guilty. Chov is lashon guilt, and on the side of one kaf, you're bringing it now lachaf schut. That's the onion of kaf. You're weighing up on either side, and now you're weighing down the chaf schut bigger than the chaf chova.
Right.
So it gives him ability in that whole what's the famous muzzle, the concept when you have in Tishrei, it's the muzzle of Tishrei, the two, the weighing scales. What are they called in English? What's the name of it? I forgot the name of the muzzle of Tishrei. I don't know why I'm forgetting everything today. Must be lack of sleep.
So what do you mean? The name of the scale?
Yeah, scales. Well, it's called Libra, isn't it? Libra.
What, like the horoscope?
Yeah.
I think it's Libra.
Yeah, Libra.
Because that's what my bar mitzvah is. I'm the next month.
Oh, you're Tishrei?
No, I am Cheshvan.
Heshvan. So it's slightly different. Muzzle Libra. Let's go back.
We got Hebrew.
Yeah, Muzzle Libra. Here we go. Muzzle Maznaim. That's the word. Yeah.
Maznaim.
Yeah. Maznaim.
Israelis love this stuff too.
Yeah. The concept is you're bringing the scales.
Was it
that's
23 September? Yes, I'm a Libra.
Yeah. And Libra is Tishrei.
My wife tells me. So you see, I have a mazel of Tishrei.
Yeah. Were you born in Tishrei?
I was born in the beginning of Cheshvan.
Could be you have a combination of both.
Yeah.
It's just good because to be able to balance things out, but also be strong like a akrav.
The next one is a Scorpio.
Scorpion, that's akrav. Yeah.
I'm on the cusp. So my birthday is the 21st of October.
Elevate the sting.
Yeah. So I'm like on the cusp.
So we're elevating the sting of a scorpion to the kaf chova.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the kaf
I think I need more scorpion.
Kaf
That's what I need.
Yeah, be strong. Yeah?
Too level-headed sometimes.
No, but that's also the balance. That's what we're talking about. So you're balancing, you're bringing the scales towards from guilt to innocence. You're bringing everything back towards schut. Heichel schut, the word of schut, of merit. And what happens is, this is the power of a tzaddik and Torah. He does tshuva. Isn't that amazing? And that is this concept from the Tehillim, the od ma'at, he's not a Rasha anymore. No more Rasha. Good news. And you're brewing out in the Rasha a little bit of good. Shasham ain't a Rasha. And from there, he's no longer a Rasha. he gets elevated from his place, and he's no longer in that old place. The old stories are no more. Yeah, new stories. Remember we said about the Chadshus? Just like we should have renewal for ourselves, we should bring it to the people around us also.
Right.
Renew how we perceive them. Let's elevate them in our mind and heart. Right? And we should, you know how powerful this is to do this for your children, not to get into old ways of thinking about them, to see the good. Hainem is bonen on your wife, even more so. Hainem is bonen, mistako or makoma medregoso. And you should be sponen. This is a very Chabad concept of being think deeply, but it's a Torah concept. You should think very deeply. Mistako. Stako is the strongest way of looking at something. We stare at it. Yeah. Al makomo, you're looking into his place. Al medregoso. He's no longer in the old place, the first place. Yeah. Because you're drawing out the good from him. Nekuda Tova. There we go. There's a famous concept. Nekuda Tova. And you're judging him towards Shirat. You're thinking deep into his place, and he's not there anymore.
Right.
Very good, no?
So who's doing the thinking? The judger or me, let's say? Or
Tzaddik, you.
The tzaddik is going. The tzaddik.
Making you into a tzaddik. You're doing it. We're learning this so we can be tzaddikim. And this is going to be the next point. Why would you not call yourself a tzaddik? It says, you have to do the same thing for yourself. You have to look at yourself with good eyes. Forget the old stories that some guy said you end up in prison.
It's interesting though, the idea of being done Adam Lakav's chus. It's been also a concept that's been matame throughout the years too. Like Shlomo, I think we're saying right after the war, is like where we've become this generation where we're like accepting people.
Right.
And there's a very fine line between holding your own inner boundaries, right? Like, we just accept him the way he is, because and being done someone the cops chus.
Yeah, but this Torah is not saying he's going to stay the way he is.
Right.
It's the opposite. You're elevating him.
I'm just pointing.
You're actually but that's the problem. That's where it's old stories, and you're stuck in it, and you're keeping it that way, and you're happy, you're comfortable keeping him in wherever level he is. Right. That's the real Am Yisrael Tzaddik, Am Yisrael Amekun Tzaddikim. We're all Tzaddikim. Is we elevate each other. We push each other in a good, healthy way to grow, to become better people, not to get stuck in these old stories. That's the point. We have to allow, people say, "Oh, your brother's a lefty." Yeah, maybe he sounds like a lefty, but inside he's a yid. Yeah,
right.
So I've got to draw out the fact he's in a shama, and that deep down he cares about me, and he cares about his soul, and he cares about his family, and he's a yid. No matter how much brainwashing the media's done over there to make him think in a more lefty way, he's a yid at the end of the day. And let's not let his Nekuda Yadus, that Nekuda Tova, get drawn into this whole narrative and being used to have rachamim on the wrong things. Because that's really what happens with a lot of those lefties. They've got a good heart, and they get drawn into this whole false narrative.
Yeah.
So they care about, the whatever more than they care about the truth.
Right.
So we have to do it ourselves. This is the next thing. Really, this is where we're holding now. Each person now has to draw out that tzaddik inside of him. And as it's known that a person needs to be warned very much that to be happy always. How are you going to be b'simcha tamid if you think you're a rush? It's not going to work. He has to get away from sadness very, very much. This is remember we said the avi avos of tuma. What's the tumas mace?
Right.
Sadness.
Right.
Yeah? So we have to get away from atzvus very much. And he explained this many times. There's a big sod in Breslov, simcha tamid. And if you start to look in yourself and you don't see any good, what's going to happen? He says, look, last night I was on my phone. Yeah, I don't want to get into all the different things I was thinking about and watching. And he wants the bad dava. What's the Yetzchak wants? Yeah, this bad dava.
Yeah.
He wants to bring him down. He's trying to bring us down. Yeah, the pilo to bring us to sadness and black, not even like a sadness, but a deep sadness, like the more shchoyer, like the most sad part of human people is like coming out from the kidneys, this dark black sort of sadness. It could pull a person into all kinds of depressions and negativities. Shalom. Even so, it's forbidden to fall from this. You have to find that little bit good. Can't be. It can't be possible that you haven't done something good in all these years. A mitzvah, you woke up to learn Likutei Moharan, daven, nice husband. Can't be you didn't do a bunch of good stuff. Yeah. Right. You got ready for Shabbos coming up today. And even then, you start to gaze deeply into the good things you do. Yeah, and he starts to see that he's also filled with Petzoim.
What's Petzoim?
Petzoim is like Petza is like a not good thing, yeah, like a damage or something. Let's see what the English translation here is. It's always good to bring it along for these moments.
What was the other word we had that was really helpful? From yesterday or 2 days ago?
Proprietus?
Proprietus.
I don't really like that word.
I think it's like a proprietus.
Yeah. Well, can it be one of these?
It's going to be a proprietus.
Even when he begins to examine his good things he does, he sees filled with flaws. Okay.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, it's not so bad. It's actually a pretty good translation. And no purity. Yeah. He's not really like, even if he's done mitzvahs, but they're flawed. Like everyone's looking at him doing the mitzvah, so he's getting pride from it. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah. And he sees that he's also the mitzvah is of something of kedusha, and he was able to do it. So even though you did this amazing mitzvah, yeah, but what's happened? There's loads of impure motives. External thoughts, numerous thoughts, yeah. They're paying me to learn, yeah. They're paying me to do this shir. They're paying me, whatever. My wife's happy with me, yeah. My kids, I care what everyone thinks. The community, yeah. All these like things, yeah, that make suddenly a mitzvah not so amazing, yeah. And then what happens is, yeah. Nevertheless, he asked a question. How is it possible that this mitzvah or holy deed contains not even a little bit of good? So what? So you got Penias and all this stuff, but it's still, it can't be there's not something good. So if in any case there is going to be some good point and good reason you did it, and therefore you have to seek out that Nekuda Tova and come to Simcha by it. So it's all about working on your mindset, that you process your Yiddishkeit and your lifestyle and your habits towards Simcha. If it doesn't bring you to Simcha, then something off. Like I was talking to you about my son the other day. The Frum's at the very Frummy son. So he's the Yetzirah is playing games with him, but in the Frum sense. It's the Frum Yetzirah where it's never good enough, the learning, and he never feels like he's fully like accomplishing. He didn't done with enough kavana. Everything's always about the chesaron, what he's missing, what he's lacking, and then he's getting down, then he's not feeling good, and then he's not really learning good. And now because he's worried and anxious, this is the Frum Yetzirah.
I think the Frum Yetzirah is much more powerful than the non-Frum Yetzirah.
Well, it's definitely a harder biro because it's not so obvious. Yeah?
Right, it's like
because it comes with a hat and payers and tzitzis and the whole thing.
Really, it's like your cheder, your Rebbe from the cheder.
Yeah, go to mikveh, go to fast. Do all this heilige stuff, and then you're like ruining yourself. Yeah? Right. Like and you're no longer balanced because you're more balanced guy. You're with the equilibrium.
Yeah. Some of my rabbeim when I was a little kid, they were like Holocaust survivors. So
those guys
tell you the stuff that they would tell you the stuff that make your neshama
Shem Shemenu.
Yeah.
But the key is you have to keep looking for the good of Dayan Ma'atov, that little bit of good. And the point is not just elevating the other dude from Chova to Schus on the scales. You have to do the own avoda for yourself.
Right.
Get yourself in your own mind how you perceive yourself from the Chaf Chova to the Chaf Schut, so the place of Schut. And then you can go and do tshuva properly. You can't do tshuva properly if you're all the time the Yetzirah saying, I'm a Rasha, I'm lazy, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, that's not the way you should talk about yourself to yourself. That's not going to help. That's the Yetzirah, from Yetzirah. It's giving you miss all the time. Yeah,
Nachman was like the innovator of like mental health.
It's true. It's true. Very good. That's true. He was a professor and everything good. And he was young. He was like, he passed away at 39. So he's like, this is Gilui. He was bringing us down from Atzilus. Yeah.
Right.
Bechinas od ma'at ein rashis bonon al makom einana canal, and then it brings us back to that pasuk. Yeah, a little bit of good. There's no Rasha. Think on his place. He won't be there. Canal hay kamosh asrikin adan achem lechafschut. Filo etza rishayim lemotz behem ezen nekuda. So now he jumps back, and since we said already, you need to judge others. Even if they seem like a Rasha, you have to find out that little Nekuda Tova. It's all just reading what we said before, because you obviously have to go over this and over this till you actually start living it. It takes work to actually apply this. So when you're by this person himself, so now you have to do the same for yourself. You have to mechazik, you have to constantly strengthen yourself. What did Moshe say to Yeshua, and what did Yeshua say to Am Yisrael? What's the famous passage? We end off Simchas Torah. This year we're a bit of a balagan with the whole war, but what was Moshe to Yeshua to Am Yisrael? Rak hazak v'yamatz. That were the final words from Moshe to Yeshua and Yeshua to Am Yisrael. Rak hazak v'yamatz. Only chizuk and encouragement. That strength and encouragement. That is what a tzaddik gives over to his people, to his Talmud and to his students. Chizuk and encouragement. Those are the three words you need to burn into your mind and heart on Simchas Torah, a day of joy. Rak hazak v'yamatz. Only encouragement and strength. Don't let the Yetzirah take you on this whole Drei-Kop negative flow approach.
Anybody got time for that?
Yeah. Who's got time to be a victim?
Yeah.
Let's be strong. Make strong yourself. Give life force to yourself. It doesn't mean when your wife needs to vent, you let her vent. Yeah, and then there'll be room for the chizuk. But first, let her speak it all out. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
With that point, you need to strengthen yourself to listen.
Yeah.
And you have to rejoice in his soul, that little bit of good, and draw it out in himself. There was during his life, I'm sure he's done in his day. Not sure. You did do mitzvah or something good.
Right.
You just that. It's just Matthias. Am Yisrael doing good. That's what we do. Am Yisrael. And you have to keep seeking out that good point again and again. And then you know what it does. Mitzvah brings mitzvah. Davatov brings davatov. You're constantly drawing out these good points, and that brings to more good points. And even also in this thing that's good, there's also mixed up a little bit of, not good, or a lot of not good, psolis, things that are, not really important, extra stuff. What does he say here? Psolis. I think psolis, it's always like, we look at psolis as the things you don't need, like waste. There's mixed with it much impurity, he says here again. I don't know why impurity, what's that going to do with psolis? I don't know. That's how he translates it. I wouldn't agree. I say like waste, a lot of stuff you don't need. Yeah? So you got all this psolis and all this stuff, you're looking around your house, all this garbage. Yeah, so you got to be samech, and there's loads of good things in your house. Let's draw it out. Where are we? Even from that, you look around your house, you have balagan. There's still a Nekuda Tova. Yeah, there's kids playing with the balagan. There's a wife who's coping with her day in the Balagan. And you need to seek out and gather, not just gather them out with nice and Nekunim. Through gathering all the Nekudas Tovas, you start to make a good song. Right. Then you can start singing like you were a minute ago. Right. Says the power of music. Music is an expression of this whole voda. It's menagin klezema. The concept of someone's menagin, he's playing an instrument. Yeah, what do you play? I play guitar.
Gamani.
Good. The whole thing is to draw out the ruach, the good spirit, from the sad spirit, from the negative spirit. That's true. That's what a klezema does. Can you get a kedusha who gavar ma'od ma'od can do it?
That's Ayin Sham. Oh, he has a different.
It's a whole Torah about it, and there's a whole Torah.
We should learn that one next.
Yeah, good idea. And this is included in the Gina kedusha he gavar ma'od ma'od can do it. And the Gina to kedusha. That's by the way the Torah Nissan Black really likes that whole Torah about music. Obviously, that was part of his whole journey. Hashem Melech and everything. The clouds, including in the Gina kedusha, he gavar ma'od ma'od can do it. And you know, Rav Weinberg always talks about as well, holy Negunim.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's very into
Rav Shlomo Katz. Now you know who's giving a whole series on it? 18 Katz.
Oh, and holy.
He's giving a whole series. Yeah, he's just to get started. I just saw it on Instagram.
Holy Negunim.
Yeah, the Gina kedusha gavar are very high. The Kiyudu. It's very apparently it's a known thing by Rabbi Nachman. These high Negunim.
He's very into
Ikanigan Nasa.
The Baal Nigan too.
Yeah,
he loves, but he's like when he talks about like Rabbi Yosef Karduner.
Yeah, he's a big tzaddik.
When he was here on,
that was amazing.
When he was here, it was before Hanukkah.
That was amazing.
It was like I don't know why I was like looking at him and I'm like, this guy he's
the real deal.
He's the real deal.
He's the real tzaddik.
His face is, he's just like, he has a beautiful face.
Yeah, he's a beautiful looking person, but he's a tzaddik.
But I'm saying,
and he's about tshuva, you know that?
Yeah. You can see it.
He was in a Tel Aviv band, like he used to play the bass. He wasn't even a guitarist or singer. He was a bassist in a proper band. But he had good musical skills, and he brought it all back to Hashem through Rabbi Nachman, through his Spodidus.
He stopped playing for a while.
I used to daven nates with him like 20-something years ago in Beit Shemesh.
Wow.
He'd be up every morning in the breast of shul in Beit Shemesh base.
You can see he's like a...
he's over the Shem.
Songs. He's not just... It's not a concert. That's why he doesn't give concerts, probably.
He's a real deal. Whenever I try to ask him to do stuff, like, because I used to try to do work with him, he's very specific what he does. Like, it always has to be sneer and... Like, it's hard to be in the music business in such a thing. Thank God there's people like Weinberg and Shlomo communities will pay money for him to do it in his sneerest way.
He doesn't even charge a lot.
But he won't do like anything mixed.
Right. But he doesn't charge a lot of money, I was told even. He's like you can see, he's like a tzaddik.
I wanted for a while to get a sponsor to bring him onto Rav Arush's show to do it together, the two of them. But I couldn't get I didn't have the money enough to pay myself. It was like 3,000-4,000 shekels, and have it at that time. And I wasn't able to find anyone to sponsor. I got someone to sponsor Weinberger to come on the show.
Oh, yeah?
To pay for a Weinberger, yeah.
You had to fly here? No,
just to do it online, Zoom.
Okay.
So that I managed to do. But to get with, I couldn't do it. By that point, it wasn't working out for me there anyway, for whatever reason. But the Nekuda is, you have to find out the Nekuda's Tovas. Yeah, that's always a big avoda. Like, like think about it, like, there's always going to be this voice in your head, For me personally, for example, I've been around a lot of famous people in the Jewish world, and I've worked with them and helped them, and and I'm not so famous. Yeah, it didn't rub off on me for some whatever reason. Yeah, maybe that wasn't my intention anyway. My main intention was to help them, not help me. Yeah,
right.
But it just like, you didn't even see that show with Simon Jacobson. Why didn't you see it? You're into Simon Jacobson. Why didn't it come to you? All that effort I made to go in a proper studio and to create this whole thing. Why didn't it go global? Why weren't all of Klal Yisrael into it? Yeah, so you could say that's like the YITZCHAK's voice. Yeah,
right.
So what's the YITZCHAK's voice over here, or what we're doing in this learning, is to say no, Nekudas Tovas. You did what you could do, and you start to sing with that part that you did accomplish, not what you didn't accomplish. And that's the real inner work. That's the challenge. We're here. Wow, it's late. Yeah. So anyway, thank God he came in. So anyway, we should sing with the Nekudas Tovas. Whatever we've done in our life, we should sing it around us with our kids, our family. Amen. And if we do it enough, we'll elevate everything to tshuva, to tzaddik, to beautiful Shabbos to Mashiach Sekenu, Azamra Lakai Ba'odi. We're going to get to that next. That's going to be our next learning in the new week. When I get back from London, we'll learn Azamra Lakai Ba'odi, the whole Torah, how it's in the davening. It's in our avoda.